Democrats running for president want to start pulling American troops out of Iraq immediately. The Republican candidates, meanwhile, almost unanimously back President Bush's plan to stay the course. But not Republican Congressman Ron Paul of Texas. Paul opposed the war from the start. He voted against the original war authorization back in 2002. What does Ron Paul make of President Bush's comments that al-Qaeda will fill the void if America pulls out? And what about today's national intelligence estimate that says al-Qaeda is more poised than ever to strike us here at home? Joining us now to discuss all this is Ron Paul himself. Congressman, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Nice to be with you.
Thanks. Before I ask you about those matters, we saw the FEC reports, including those from your campaign, and we're amazed to learn that Barry Manilow has given to your campaign. I know last time we talked about getting a celebrity supporter. It looks like you have. Do you know Barry Manilow?
No, I don't. I was very pleased to find that out.
Are you a fan?
I found out about the time you did.
Do you like his music?
Oh, I really like it now, I'll tell you that.
You're a fan of convenience. Good for
you.
There you go. So we're learning that what we already knew, which is that much of the threat we face from extremists abroad originates in the Northwest Territories of Pakistan, Waziristan. If you're president, what would you do about that?
About dealing with the al-Qaeda in Pakistan?
Yes.
Well, you're not going to deal with much until you change foreign policy, but I did vote for the authority to go after Osama bin Laden in that area, and we sort of backed away, and there's a problem there. Now it's compounded by the fact that the al-Qaeda now has an incentive for growth. We had no al-Qaeda in Iraq, and now it's growing by leaps and bounds. And this idea that if we leave, al-Qaeda will come in, exactly the opposite occurred. They weren't there until we went in. So I think we should deal in a very, very targeted way to go after the leadership of al-Qaeda and go after Osama bin Laden. And do it with as much permission as you can get, from the governments involved, which is really Pakistan. But Pakistan doesn't permit us to do it. And here we're sending them money. They're a military dictatorship, and they're protecting Osama bin Laden, which is a reflection of a foreign policy that is seriously flawed.
But why would we, if we faced an imminent physical threat, verifiable threat, from elements within Pakistan, and the Pakistani government declined to do anything about it, why wouldn't we just ignore their wishes and do something about it anyway?
I think we have the right to do it if there's an imminent threat, but the odds of al-Qaeda launching a nuclear weapon at us, and the president does have authority, imminent threat or threat, the president doesn't need permission from the Congress. He should get permission for a declaration of war, and we wouldn't be in this mess that we have. No, if it was an imminent threat, he does have the authority. But even in a targeted sense, you can get permission to get limited authority like we did to go after the al-Qaeda. Unfortunately, though, the president took this authority and got into nation building, and now we're in the process of nation building in two countries over there, and neither one's going very well. At the same time, we're threatening to go in and start bombing Iran. And that's the kind of policy that I think is so detrimental and dangerous to our country.
There has been a great hesitance on the part of every president I'm aware of in America to deal with regimes that are genuinely bad. The idea is we're above that. We are tainted by their evil if we make common cause with them. Are you bothered by that? I mean, is there any regime that we should just not deal with because they're morally repugnant?
Well, basically, you try to avoid that attitude because you really want to talk to as many people as possible and trade with people. I mean, we dealt with the Chinese, and that wasn't a bad idea. We trade with them now, and we're very much less likely now to have a war with China. So I would say you deal with these people. We talk to the Russians, so why can't we talk to the Iranians? It makes a lot of sense to me that we should talk to them. If we talk to these other regimes, it's this attitude that we should isolate ourselves from the world and just be belligerent and threaten them and put on sanctions. Right now, the more sanctions we put on, the more harm we do to the dissidents that are in Iran. So I would say that always backfires. So yes, in general, you want to deal with people and talk to people as much as possible. If there's hostilities going on, even then you talk to people to try to end them.
Right.
But depending on force and war is the wrong way to go. That shouldn't be the American way.
Okay. Congressman Ron Paul of Texas running for president, joining us again. I appreciate it. Thanks, Congressman.
Thanks a lot.